Hello everyone and welcome back to the one and only Bear Bard Tales. It is I, the one bear brave enough to say this: Wigglewort, Snufflemuffins, Weeble Wobble, and Moist. These are just a few of the words I have set aside to show my bravery, because I am the Bear Bard. What's this? Another video within a year? Why yes, dear listener, I am back. And today I have a story of betrayal, of friendship lost, alliances broken, and finals failed, with the terrifyingly named Bob. Look, I'm gonna level with you. I considered changing the name to something scarier, but I respect the integrity of the OP, and so it shall remain Bob. That being said, before we get started, I'm contractually obligated to remind you to gently caress that like button. It likes it like that. Then smash that sub button, because it also likes that. And with that, we are nothing if not accommodating around here. So without further ado, I present to you The Coup. So this story is a major event in my DM career that traumatized me for a long time after that and almost made me quit D&D entirely. However, now that I'm in a better place in my life with much better group of friends, I decided to post it here for your enjoyment. The cast of characters isn't super important beyond the one evil genius I will call Bob. It all started in college in a creative writing class. I didn't have a ton of friends at the time, so I began to grow attached to this group of writers in my creative writing class. We would talk about writing fiction and just life in general for literal hours after class had ended, and once even had to get kicked out of the classroom so the next class could start their lessons and use the room. One day, someone floated the idea of wanting to play D&D, and I mentioned I was a longtime DM, looking for a group for a horror campaign I had been writing. So we immediately got together for a session, and it was instant magic. The characters created all had great concepts, the role-playing was great, and everyone really enjoyed the story I had written. It was around this time I had begun to have a really good friendship with the infamous Bob. He had always had great insight into my writing, so I often asked him for advice regarding my campaign ideas. As this went on, I began to put a lot of trust in him, which he would soon come to abuse. On a particularly busy day when I was supposed to have a session, I realized I would have to cancel, but everyone was clamoring to have another session. So I called up Bob and suggested he try his hand tonight at DMing. This was my first mistake. For as time went on and I resumed my DM duties, and the campaign continued to the 1-year mark, everything seemed to be going really well, when one day I was talking to some members of the group and found out that Bob had run some sessions beyond the initial one-shot without me. I was a little confused and asked Bob why he had excluded me. He told me that he thought I was going to be busy that entire week, and plans were already made, so he didn't bother asking. I brushed this off, thinking that it was a simple misunderstanding. Then the week of the finals hit, and everything went wrong. I was leaving my creative writing class to head over to my English final when Bob told me he needed to talk to me. He pulled me aside and told me, "So I have talked with the group, and we have unanimously decided to move on to a different campaign without you. And they asked me to talk to you because they didn't want to talk to you about it." I was floored. This had been my only friend group most of college, and they were abandoning me? I mumbled some apology, went to my final, and was so upset about everything I fully failed the final. When I got home, I couldn't get any of it through my skull. I must have done something to offend them, said something or done something, but for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what I had done. I had felt so unbearably guilty, but I didn't even know what I had done to deserve any of it. So I decided I needed to talk to the group, apologize, and then leave like they wanted. On the group chat, I apologized profusely, told them that I respected the decision and wished everyone the best. Then the first message came in. "What are you talking about? We never said anything about kicking you from the group." Then the rest of the group entered the chat, all stating the same confused sentiment. No one knew they had unanimously decided to kick me from the group and start a new campaign. Everyone except Bob. I furiously typed. I tried to confront him online, but he denied any involvement, saying he must have been confused or that the other players were intimidated by me. I then went and talked to each of the players, and everyone had the same story. Bob had been having sessions without me, and he never mentioned any of this to anyone. At this point, the semester was over, and the group really never got over this. We were all weirded out by this incident, and people generally stopped talking to each other. Passion to play my campaign went out as well, as none of us could really get past what had happened. A while later, I had run into one of my old friends, and she confirmed that Bob's campaign he had wanted to run never manifested, as everyone pretty much blamed him for everything and thought he was a jerk for doing what he did. So that's some solace at least. It took me a while to get over this incident and start trusting people again. But after a bunch of therapy sessions and tentatively running a few one-shots, I started playing D&D again, and I'm a proud DM to this day. I have an awesome group who supports me and is very open about any issues they have, and it has done wonders to build back my self-confidence as a DM and just as a person. So I guess the lesson is this. The world seems like it's turned against you, maybe double check and make sure it isn't just one guy trying to do something sneaky. What a prick. Can you imagine thinking, I'll just hijack some campaign real quick. No one will notice a thing. I mean, does the whole everyone hates you, trust me, and just leave thing actually work in real life? I mean, like, even in the movies, it just leaves everyone yelling at the screen, does no one talk to each other? I think the craziest thing for me is that there is always a shortage of DMs out there. It's like tanks. There will never be enough of them. All he needed to do is one post and he'd have a whole group in minutes, even if he wanted to go with this group. If he had just said something, they probably would have worked with him. They could have had a second game night, alternate sessions, or even potentially put the current game on pause for that one. There could have been 1,000 options that didn't devolve into Game of Thrones level treachery. But here's where I throw the obligatory communication and don't be a dick comments that are oh so common in these stories. I'm glad the OP was able to come back to the space. It's a great outlet for people who like to write. And now, to the Bear Bard's Cave of Art and Wonders. Today's submission is from the supremely talented Dragonax, and depicts the Bear Bard as a Star Wars-esque bounty hunter. I love that it can look so completely different, yet you can absolutely tell it's still 100% the Bear Bard. Such a cool vibe to him. I feel like I need to play a sci-fi RPG and put him in it. Before I go though, I'd like to give a huge shout out to my membership subscribers. Y'all are fantastic and deserve all the love you get. If you're looking for more Bear Bard, you can find me on all the normal socials in varying levels of interaction. And with that, I think it's about time to call it a night. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you all sticking around. It means the world to me. But for now, remember to stay kind, stay beautiful, and keep on living that bard life.